All right, let's get ready to roll here. Okay, so tonight we want to talk about the quality of business. Okay, and we'll talk about um, the two P's. Okay, PP, uh, persistency and placement, and that's very important. Very, very important because the insurance carriers, if you understand the business, they don't make any money the first year. Okay, that's really put into us and our business of bringing them the business. They don't start making money until the second, third, and fourth year into the policy. Okay, so they want you to make sure that you are writing good business. Okay, they want to make sure that you're writing good business. Okay, and the way that they do that is by two things. Number one is placement, and number two is persistency. Okay, placement and persistency, and that uh, means a lot. Okay, so they want you writing good quality business. Now, does that mean that clients are not going to cancel? Uh, uh, of course not, right? They're going to cancel. But we're kind of like the eyes and ears of the company. You are, we used to say back in the day, and I think some people still say that we're the field underwriters. Okay. Yeah, if you sit down with a client, hey, Ms. Jones, I'm the field underwriter. Just trying to see what you're getting qualified for. And so we are the first eyes and ears to the company of what this person's health situation is like. Okay. Because remember, in final expense and simplified issue, they're not taking a medical exam. Okay. Now, if you're ever on TV and you see Colonial Penn, just different carriers that say no medical exam and no health questions, that's what we call GI in our business. Okay. Guaranteed issue business. Okay. So that's the worst of the health. And so um, many clients are going to fall for that. It's your job to let them understand what that means. Okay. So, yeah, we don't have medical exams, but we do ask clients health questions. But when they say no health questions and no medical exam, that's a guaranteed issue product, which we have that product. But our goal is to try to put them in first day coverage if we can, meaning that there's no 2 year waiting period if we can. Okay. If we can. So keep that in mind. All right. So let's talk about persistency. I know we talked about it before, but this is a refresher memory, and you want to make sure that you're doing that. Okay, so persistency, I like to call it your retention rate. Okay, that's really what it should be called, um, but it's called persistency. All right, I'm going to try to share this with you guys here. Okay, can y'all see my little white screen here? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, all right, all right. So, guys, what you need to understand about the business of this. There's two major things. Okay, now obviously we get way into the weeds later on when you're building a multi-million-dollar business. You might want to hire staff, secretary, all kinds of stuff like that. Okay, but there's starting off. There's just two main expenses that we have. Okay, if you take care of these expenses, you will succeed. You will not fall into the trap of the 92% of insurance agents that don't succeed. Okay, you'll do well. You will do extremely well if you follow this. Okay. So when we say persistency and final expense, we're looking for anywhere between, let's see, can I get the little tool here? Okay. We're looking for anywhere between 70 to 80% persistency. Okay. And I'm not going to draw the whole word out, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. That's what you're trying to aim for. Okay. I don't care how good of a person or how good of a salesperson you are, how good you take care of your clients. It's going to be anywhere between 70 and 80%. Okay. So if I'm saying that your persistency is 70 to 80%, that is the amount of people that are staying on your books. Okay. Now, when you go into your carriers and we're going to help you, we're going to coach you, but it's your business, right? You have to make sure you go into your carrier, you go in there into your agent portal, and you mess around and look at your numbers and stuff. Okay. And you just go in there and see how you're doing, because there's a 13-month persistency, which means that the clients have paid more than 12 months, and now we're going to start your renewals. And then there's other things like a 4-month persistency or 6-month persistency, whatever the case is. The companies will have that. Okay, so in other words, here are the people that are still on the books for at least 6 months. Here are the people that are still on the books for at least a whole year. Okay, but we're basically talking about the 13-month persistency. In other words, within a whole year, these are the people that stayed on your books. Okay, so if you have a 70 to 80% persistency, okay, what that means then, I'm going to have 20 to 30% of chargebacks. Okay, that's what that means, because it's the inverse, right? Out of 100%. Okay, so now here's what you got to understand, guys. Don't be scared of chargebacks. That's a part of the business. Okay, if you're scared of chargebacks, if you're scared of advanced debt, then you haven't been taught the right way of managing your money. Okay, and you have to learn to manage your money when you're doing this business, especially in this business. Okay, we're in the insurance and financial services business, so you have to make sure that you're managing the money. And guys, really, that's any business. Okay, that's any business. I always say this: if you have a trucking business, 18 wheeler, if just one, okay, if just one of those tires burst out or break or whatever you want to call it, guess what? That's a chargeback. That's $500 just for one tire out of 18 wheels, out of 18 tires. Okay, that's let me talking about the engine. All right, and even when people are not in business, they don't realize they are in business. It's called you incorporated. Okay, the refrigerator broke. That's a chargeback. Something happened to the house. Something happened to your car. That's a chargeback. Okay, and so you got to know the rain is going to come. Okay, you might say, well, that's dreary, right? Be positive. Yes, I am positive. As that joke goes, right? I'm positive it's going to rain. That's why I carry an umbrella. Okay, so there's no ifs and buts about it. That's going to happen. The 20 to 30% is going to fall off. Period. Okay, but when you manage your money, then doesn't matter. It has no weight whatsoever, because you're paying yourself a salary. Okay, and you live this way for 2 months, and then maybe the third month you up the salary. Okay, but you're paying yourself a salary, so that chargeback shouldn't have any bearing whatsoever. The only reason it has a bearing is that you go out and make $1,000 in an hour, and you spent $1,000. Okay, when you're in business, you can't do that, because you got to know. Okay, there's going to be some ebbs and flows, and also the second expense is my marketing. I've got to have leads every week, especially in the final expense business. Okay, I got to have the leads every week, and if you want to do this full time, then I will tell you the most important bill you got is not your rent, it's not your mortgage, it's not the most important bill you got is the um the lead bill. Okay, because that gets you in front of people, that gets your business to make money, and now your money can take care of the business as an entity and you personally. Okay, so that's what that means. And I'm going to show you one more thing when we talk about persistency. Okay, so let's erase this here. Okay, so you have the head knowledge. Okay, you have the head knowledge of what that means, but what does that mean money wise? Okay, now it's really gonna make sense to you, and now you'll see just how important it is, not just to keep your contract with the carrier. Okay, because I'm explaining this to you. That's why you should read your agent manual with any carrier. If your persistency gets low enough, they won't keep you. Okay, so some companies that might be like 60%. Okay, or whatever. Because remember now, the insurance companies don't make any money the first year. They make it in the second, and third, and fourth year. So if you're constantly bringing them trash business, that's just taking up their time. Okay, it's taking up their resources and their money, and they're not making any money, and you're not either. Okay, so we got uh, linguistically or theoretically why, but here's the application. Okay, simple application. Let's say that you make $100,000. Okay. Now, if you make that $100,000 and your persistency was 75%, that means for you just keep writing, you keep writing. So for every four clients you write, three out of the four stay on the books. Okay. So if my persistency, or what I like to call the retention rate, is 75%, then I didn't make 100,000. Okay. Because that went back to my chargebacks. What did I make? I made 75,000. Okay. That's the real number. Okay. Now, I want you all to understand that that's any business. Okay. You still made money. All right. And the cool thing about it is the carrier even knows that. So they give you 9 months up front, which is 75%, and they give you 25% in the back, which means that's the as earned portion. Okay. So uh let's do this one more thing before I go into deeper details here so you understand what's going on. If this is my persistency, okay, 75%, that's what I really made off the 100,000. Okay. But let's do this. Let's just show you how that correlates as far as money. Okay. Because remember, they gave us 9 months up front, 75%, but that 25% is going to come in the back end. That's why it's so important that you take 2026 seriously. And that starts even now because it's going to affect your money in the back end. It's so important you don't go to 2026 and I'm going to put my foot in the water. I'm going to put my tiptoe in the water. No, you need to be all in. Okay. If you're going to do the business, you got to be all in. Okay. You got to string enough sales up that is consistent. Okay. And what we consider an AF core agent is somebody at least doing 10 grand a month. Okay. That's easy numbers. Okay. Easy numbers. Okay. If you're not doing 10 grand a month, you really ain't doing much. Okay. Because of persistency, placement, all that kind of stuff. Right. All right, so let's go back in. I'm going to show you something else. Now, let's say that we this is what we want to find. We want to find what the back end money is going to be. That's the as earned money, the money that was not uh, given to us. Okay. All right. Let's say a person does $10,000 of AP, and we know what AP is. That's annualized premium. Okay. Ms. Jones is paying $80 a month. $80 times 12 is 960 or $1,000 of AP. Okay. So again, we talk about how much business you wrote, how much production you wrote. Okay. How much AP you wrote. That's what we're talking about. Okay. Now, let's just say your contract can be higher, it can be lower, but let's just say it's 100%. Okay. So 100% or a dollar is going to give me $10,000. Okay. And then when I multiply that times the 75% or 9 months, in this example, we have to put the 75% because we're not doing the premium, we're doing the annualized premium. Okay. It gives me 7,500. Okay. That's what I get. Now, the difference in this number is what's still owed to you. So 10,000 minus 7,500 is 2,500. Okay. Or if you want to take this 10,000, if I want to see what my back end money is going to be, all I've got to do is just do what? Multiply it times the 25% because they gave me 75%. Okay. Now, that's going to be the back end money. After that whole year, or after 3 months, after 6 months, you can keep upping your salary. Okay. But if you go the whole year and you've lived off of this or whatever, it's called building a business. This is not get rich quick, but it's get rich pretty quick. Okay. It's get rich for sure. Okay. But you got to realize you're building a business. Some people take 3 years just to break even. All right. So you put yourself on a salary or whatever, so you can stay in the business. You can keep upping your salary, as long as it's commensurate, right? Don't get a dollar in asset and spend it all liability. That's just been broke on a higher level. A lot of people do that. They start making 30 grand, but they've got to spend 30 grand a month. Well, you just still broke. Okay. Now, this is $30,000 a year right here. Okay. So now in your second year, you're making more. Okay. But now, if we really, really want to understand what we're making, then let's do it this way. Okay. And by the way, this number right here gets bigger and bigger. Maybe you don't want to do it. And I suggest if you're going to do this full time, go for it because you got the plan. You know how many leads it takes to buy. You know how, like, go for it. Don't settle for 10,000. Do 15,000. Do 20,000. Do 25,000. Do 30,000. Okay. That's only going to make this number even bigger. Okay. But in this example, that $2,500 a month is $30,000 a year. Okay. What do we have to do? Well, we got to go back and look at our persistency, right? Because we know all that's not going to stay on the books. So if that residual of the as earned is 30,000 and my persistency is 70%, then I want to know realistically what I'm really getting, right? Then my back end money after that first year is going to be $21,000 a year. Okay. I want to say this and I want to challenge people. Whatever you make, if you can, some people do 60/40. Okay. But whatever you make, take 50% of it when you start out the first couple of months. Okay. You say, why, coach, should we do that? Because it's going to keep you in business. That's why. Okay. Because I know, again, I need to set aside about 25%, maybe even 30%. I need to set that aside for my chargebacks. Okay. I need to set that aside. That's not your money. That's your business money. That way, when you run into a chargeback, when it comes, it's not a big deal. Okay? It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal because you got the money in the bank. So I don't know how you say it. I want to just do away with this myth that people are going to come to you and say sales is up and down. Guys, business is never the exact same dollar. Okay, Walmart is a $1 billion corporation. It didn't say, hey, we're going to make $40,365.01 every day. No, that doesn't happen. Okay, all right, but who cares? Who cares? While the get is good, you got to learn to keep your money right. Okay, so for instance, let's say you got 4 weeks, right? One, two, three, four, right? In week one, you made 5K. Week two, you made 2K. Now, week three, you had a bad week. A bad week is $1,000, people. That's a bad week. Okay. And then week four, you made 3K. Oh, my thing is just really just going crazy. Okay. But you get it 5K, 2K, 1K, 3K. All right. Now, I want to know that y'all with me tonight. I don't want to feel like I'm just talking. Take your phone off mute or whatever device you're on. Are those numbers the same every week? Anybody?
Fresh salad that never ends. To the best of my favorites piled high.
No, they're different.
No. Holidays.
Right. Okay.
Alfredo.
They're different. Now, this is what the world is going to tell you. They're going to tell you you should be a teacher, you should be a police officer, you need to do something safe. Police officer not something safe, but you get what I'm saying, right? You should be a government employee. Now, if you add those 4 weeks up, what do we have? 5 plus 2, 7, plus 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11. You made $11,000 in the month. So would you rather take that or $1,500 every 2 weeks? Because that's safe. Anybody, come on, talk to me. I don't want to be talking about myself.
11,000.
Thanks, Karen. Thank you. Thank you.
That's
Right?
11,000.
Right. So the 11,000 is more than the 3,000, $1,500 every 2 weeks. The problem is this: either we are up and down. We don't want to buy leads. We want to buy leads because guys, I'm gonna teach you the right way. I'm gonna bless you because I know what goes on. There's so many people out there. They get people into this industry, and because it took $300 to get their license and their test, they think it ends there. No, this is a business. You got to pay to play. Okay, but you know, you could do it at your own pace. You ain't got to do it like boom right now. But don't be scared of investing into leads. And well, I'm just gonna get 20 leads. Well, that's kind of like you saying you're only gonna date one man your whole life, and if he don't work out, you never get married. You don't have a big enough sample size. Okay, so don't do that. You're gonna waste your money. You might make a profit, but don't do that. You need the leads every single week. So what I would do, I'd make for sure, and there's not a person on this call right now that can't do 3 apps and have $2,000. Okay. That's really what it costs. Anywhere from 2 to 3 grand for a whole month of worth of leads. That's part time. They have $2,000 or 20 leads a week. Okay, that's only 2 or 3 apps. The problem is you make the money, you want to spend it. You're gonna be right back at square one. Trust me. Ask me how I know. Okay. All right. So 25% for the chargebacks. Okay. Now, if I made $11,000 right here, right, and I said, well, starting off my business, I'm gonna pay myself $6,000 a month. Okay. I can transfer from my business every first to the 15th, $3,000 every 2 weeks. Or I can transfer from every Friday, $1,500. Okay. So 11,000 minus the 6,000, that still leaves me what? That still leaves me with $5,000. and I'm going to make some more money again the next month. So I should never be dry. Okay. So the chargebacks, that don't mean nothing. Okay. Now, you said, Coach, you said 50%. All right. If you can, maybe you got to start off at 70-30. In other words, I'm going to take 70%. The business is going to take 30%. But you need to work till you get to 50% because after a while, this is how you get rich in any business. You live off of less than what you have. Now you got the money to invest again. Now you got the money, KHD. You got offices all over the world. Now you got the money, Peyton Financial Group. Then you got 4 or 5 secretaries, okay, working for you. You lay low, especially in this business, okay, because the money comes so quick. Now, 25% for chargebacks. Now, you said 50%. So what's the other expense that we have? Somebody guess. I've been saying it all night. If you kind of slick listening, right? What's the other 25% for? Anybody guess?
Chargebacks.
That Kimmy says business expense. What did you say? Okay, were you trying to say something? Let me see. I don't know if I just muted everybody out. Karen, were you trying to say something? I don't know if I got you on mute.
Going on.
What did you say it was for?
Leads.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Karen. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Karen, send me um your cash app tonight. I'm gonna send you $20.
Yay. Okay.
Okay. So the other 25%, we got chargebacks, and we gotta have a what? We gotta have some marketing for our leads. Okay. We gotta have some leads. So yeah, we like again, we get into the weeds later on, but this is the biggest thing. We gotta have money for chargebacks and leads. And here's the thing: just because you set the 25% aside in the bank, that money's not spent at one time. Okay. It's just that when the chargeback happens, I'm good. I don't have to worry about nothing. Okay. So again, that's about 50% right there. Okay. So take it from somebody that knows. Somebody's got into a lot of debt. I didn't have nobody really mentoring me on the broker model stuff or teaching me the business. Okay. So you got to understand, right? Let's go to work. All right. So you got to understand if I make $1,000, okay, 500 needs to go to my business account because I have to be able to operate. And 500 goes to me. Okay. Everybody see that? So you got to make it that way. Like that's what it is. You got to do it like that. Okay, don't get greedy because if you get greedy, it's gonna mess you up down the line. Okay, the insurance companies, they're expecting us to be an insurance company, and what I mean by that is if they have a $10,000 death claim that they have to pay out, trust me, they ain't got $10,000 in the bank. Okay, that's redlining. They got $100,000 in the bank for that specific, that one 10,000 death claim. Okay, so we know for $1 we put into the business, we're gonna get back $4. That's a 4x on your 4x return. Okay, so don't worry, the money's going it's gonna be definitely good to where you can start upping your money, upping your salary. Okay, but that's what you need to do. Okay, that way you can do business the right way. All right. So let's go into some things that are going to help your persistency in your placement. Okay, persistency in placement. Before I get there, is anybody got any questions? Anybody? Seriously, anybody? Okay. Did Karen get off? Okay, she might have had to do something. I don't know. Okay. All right. So let's go now, and we're going to go into the things that's going to help you with persistency and placement. All right. Mhm. Okay, can you guys see that things to improve persistency? Yes. Okay. Mickey, Kim, can y'all see that?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So everyone understands what persistency is. That's your retention rate. Okay. These are some things to help improve your persistency. So number one, of course, thank you cards. Okay. Um, and actually, I'm going to put in there your leave behind folder. Okay. So your thank you cards, right? The next thing is your leave behind folder. Okay. When you're selling insurance, you're selling something that's intangible. Okay. So it's not, they're not going to drive it. They're not going to wear it. They're not going to watch it. You're selling peace of mind to people. So they need to see something. Okay. When you leave, especially in our market, which is the final expense market, people between 50 and 85. What you want to do is you want to leave a company folder. Okay. And then if you go on the website, nafteam.net, let's see. Oh, can somebody, it might have to be me, try to invite him back in here. Oh, hold on just a minute, guys. Let me see. Can I add her? Okay. Let's get back here. Boom, 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 boom. I'll give her a second just to get on. All right. Hopefully she can get back on here. So you want to leave thank you cards, but send them a thank you card. Uh, you can do it either way you want. Um, you can do handwritten. I'm going to put on here handwritten or send out. This is a popular one. I do really like it. Sendoutcards.com. Okay. Something like that. I think it's called sendoutcards.com. And really you couldn't get any cheaper. So time you do your own stamp and your own card and your own envelope or whatever, it's gonna come out to the same. Okay. The reason why I like sendoutcards.com is because it's very cheap and it will notify you just like your other CRM and stuff, but it will notify you about when the person has a birthday, anniversary, all that good stuff. Okay. You'll put your client in there and then it'll notify you weeks in advance. Okay. And you can put your picture on the thank you card, your company name, whatever. They've got a lot of cool things that you can do. Okay. Leave behind a folder. We talked about that. Okay. When you're doing your leave behind a folder, you want to make for sure that they've got something. Now in the leave behind a folder, if you're in nafteam.net, you're going to see I've got something called leave behind or something, and what it is showing their quote, what they're paying every month, right? What their face amount was. You put your phone number on there, okay? So that way we remain professional. Like they know what they got, okay? The carrier, you put the carrier's name on there. If it's Transamerica, okay, whoever, all that's on there, okay? Holiday cards, uh, annual policy review, okay? I know Brooke is really good at doing that. Uh, you can call those people up. Hey, I just want to see if anything changed, any new babies, anybody moved, uh, all kinds of things. Did you want to add a little bit more for inflation? Okay. Uh, but when we say things to improve persistency, this is what we're talking about. It's just you establishing a relationship. Okay. And I want to say this. I know that we live in the time now where, um, hold on just a minute. Let me see. I know we live in a time to where basically um, you can buy leads. Okay, and I get that. I totally understand that. But at the same time, it's good to get to old fashioned techniques again, which is just making sure that you're staying on top of your client's mind. Okay, you want to make sure that you're staying on top of the client's mind. All right. In person visits. Okay, in person visits. Um, if you get an email, and by the way, guys, you gotta stay on your email. Okay, that's how the companies communicate with you. All right. If they say, "Hey, Miss Mary Jones just missed her payment," don't ignore it. Immediately get on it. Okay, immediately get on it. Okay, that's going to help improve your persistency because the policy that stays is the policy that pays. All right. So you may want to do an in-person visit if you're in the vicinity with your leads or whatever, you may want to do an in-person visit. Hey girl, hey Miss Jones, I just stopped by. I know you probably didn't mean to do that, but hey, I just want to get up with you and make for sure that we keep this policy because I know it's important to you. I know you said you wanted to make for sure Bobby and Sheila don't have to go through what you went through with your father. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you went there first with a lead and you didn't even call, you definitely should be able to go now. Okay, the type of clientele we deal with, they're not uppity like that. Hey, I was just in the neighborhood. Hey, and I saw this. They sent me this across my desk. I want to make for sure that we keep you, Miss Jones, because I value you. You're a client of mine. You're family. Okay, so that's a good one. Policy drop offs. Okay, let's see. Policy drop offs. If you're not that busy, or you want to, you're trying to develop a relationship to get more referrals or whatever, uh, it's up to you. You don't, if you only got 20 leads a week and you're trying to make a lot of activity, yeah, I would say, yeah, do a policy drop off. Okay. Don't be lazy because if they didn't give you the referrals right there in the house, guess what? You come back around again and you got your face there again. Okay. But you should never leave the house without getting the referrals. And we know how to do that. Okay. So when you're doing an e application, there's a choice. You can say send the policy to the owner, or you can say send it to me as the agent. It'll come to your house, it'll be mailed to you, and then you can go and take your time. Hey, Miss Jones, I want to drop this off with you. When's a good time for me to come by, whatever, you know, sit down with her, let her see. That's giving her more trust in you, more confirmation of your credibility. Okay. And again, we just said this one just a while ago. Staying on your emails, okay? All these things improve your persistency, okay? Remember now, we just showed you. It ain't just so you can say, "Oh, I got 75%, 80% persistency." No, that's your money, okay? That's costing you money, okay? Big money. So you want to try to improve your persistency as much as you can, okay? The next one is CRM, okay, guys. This is $15 a month. It's the best one I've ever used. Lessannoying.com. Okay. That's one of the best ones you can use. I like it because it just do a lot of things and it's very simple. Um, you can make the fields to where you got Transamerica or whatever your company is and click that. You click if it was life insurance or health insurance, you can click when the policy originated. You can go and you can add notes. Okay, so you don't have to keep all these notes in your notebook. You do that on the CRM. At this time, you called her, and you know asked her about her husband or her daughter, whatever. All that's on the CRM. Okay, it'll also let you know when the person is turning their birthday is going to be this, um, and so forth. Okay, and then of course the emergency contacts of the client. Okay, don't leave the house without the emergency contacts. Okay. Do not leave. And we even have an emergency contact sheet on the agent tab of nafteam.net. Don't leave the house without the emergency contacts. Okay, guys, that is your referral source. Okay. Okay. So if you sign somebody up, you're gonna say, Coach, just what I put it on the band. This is what I just made. Look what I just did. Awesome. Now where are your emergency contacts? Okay. Because what that's gonna do is gonna make you more money. Make you more money. A lot of times you're gonna have a primary beneficiary, a secondary beneficiary. Okay, there's two names right there already. Okay, and you're the one. Okay, you're in a movie. You're the star. You're the actor or actress. Okay, so they don't know no difference. Most of the time, salespeople have an objection because they've made an objection. Okay, you just keep your head down. Now I'm gonna need two more names right here, Ms. Jones, because you know what, your family and so many monies go unclaimed. So They just asked me to do this. Now, who is they? Well, you don't work for nobody, but you just put it off like that. Hey, yeah, they got me out here. They just asked me to do this. We got so many monies to go and claim. I need two more names here that you know, love, and you trust. And I'm gonna make sure that they see me, okay? Because they need to know what to do if you pass away. Because the truth of the matter is, you'll be amazed at how many people pass away with a policy and the family didn't know anything about it. Okay, so you're doing them a favor. They appreciate you taking the time, and what are you doing? You get somewhere else to go. Okay, is everybody going to buy? No, neither is all the leads. It doesn't matter. Just do the activity. Okay, just do the activity. Let's say you sold four for the week for the leads or whatever. Okay, and you got five names because you can do it. You're just not asking for it, but you got to do it. And you get five names. Four times five is 20. You only get in touch with half of them, 10. And you only sold half of them. That's five. Now you didn't sold 10 people a week. Okay. Bring it down some more. Bring it down some more. Let's just say you had 20 leads for the week and you didn't sell but three off of doing that. Guys, that's another easy anywhere from 2 to 4 grand in addition to the other 3 grand that you made. So again, if you do what you're supposed to do, lead call should that every week. That should be nothing. Okay. You got to get out of this mess of not thinking that you're in a business. Okay, the agency that's doing well, and not only that, when you hire somebody, they're not going to want to go out here just knock random doors. Okay, you got a system. All right, so those are things that can improve your persistency. All right, make sure you're doing those things. It will help you tremendously. Okay, it will help you tremendously. All right, and don't just say, "Oh, that's a good suggestion." No, we'll tell you what works. Do it. Okay. All right, things to improve placement. Now, placement is not the same thing as persistency. Okay. Placement means I was able to get the person approved and they made their first payment. Okay. And by the way, that shows you how strong our industry is. They not the insurance company ain't even got one payment, much less 9 payments, and they're giving us 9 payments up front, 75% advance. Okay. But here's the placement. Placement means you were able to put them with the right company to get approved and they made their first payment. Okay. That's what placement means. Okay. So if let's do this, let's go back. I want to do it like this so you can kind of. I know it's easy to understand, but I want to do this so you kind of see the importance. So when we talk about placement, let's say that you got a 60% placement. Okay, that's not good. Okay, that's not good. But let's just say that's what's going on. So when we talk about placement, it's important because that's your money as well. So if I got 60% placement, not persistency, okay, placement, that's not good because now the carriers don't like it, right? But also, I'm not making the money I need to be making. What that means is 6 out of 10 people are being approved. Okay. So that's 4 apps that you're not getting paid on. Okay. It's kind of like this. When you go to a car dealership, I used to sell cars a long time ago. Got a lot of experience in selling cars and stuff. Um, a lot of times, if your credit is not good, and you don't go ahead and get the approval from your bank or your credit union, then what's going to happen is they're going to shop around to a lot of different banks. Okay, a lot of different companies, and so your credit's going to go down just a little bit. But they're just trying to throw it somewhere and see who will approve it. Okay, us as the underwriters, as the insurance agents, we don't want to do that. Okay, now are there going to be times where you thought, "Dag, I really thought this person would get approved"? Absolutely. Okay, because buyers are liars. We know that. We do know that. Okay, not everybody, but some people will just look you in your face and tell you a straight up lie. Right? No, I don't. I didn't had no heart attacks, and they had one last month. Right? But there's things that we can do to make sure we got a good placement because this affects our money. So we don't, if we set up the apps to the companies and not getting approved, that's not no money for us. It's not no money for the insurance company. Okay, so we want to make sure that we are doing the right thing with placement. Okay, so here's some things with placement. Can y'all see that screen? Things to improve placement.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So the first thing is, guys, simplified issue products. Okay, simplified issue products. Okay, that's the lane we deal in. We deal with final expense. Okay, but if you have to write a term policy, we still deal with simplified issue product. What is a simplified issue product? It's a product that we get the person approved uh, very fast, pretty much on the spot. All we had to do is just ask help questions. We do the e-app, and when we do the e-app, it takes about 2 or 3 minutes. They're running that person's prescription drug list and their MIB. Okay, the MIB is the Medical Information Bureau. Okay, so if they've ever had a heart attack, or that doctor put that in their file, it's on there. Or they ever had a stroke, it's on there. It's kind of like your credit report for your health. Okay, so I'm saying this because it's very important because I have agents sometimes what'll happen, they don't want to call the upline, they don't want to call you as their upline or whatever. They just think, oh, I'm gonna go do this. And now you're writing a product that requires a paramed or a medical exam. Okay. Even if you're out of term, we have simplified issue term. So now you're waiting two months to get paid because they got to send a nurse out there. They got to draw blood, get urine, all this kind of stuff. Okay. There's a proper place and time for that, but I would just stay to the simplified issue products. Okay. So you need to make for sure, hey, okay, is that the simplified issue product or is that the product requiring a pyramid? You need to make for sure. Okay. This is going to help you. Insurance toolkits. Okay. Now, guys, if you don't have insurance toolkits, make sure that you get them. That's another selling point when you're recruiting people and hiring people to your team and you're recruiting people to NAF. Because of our partnership with Heartland, they pay for that. Okay. We don't have to pay for it. I think it's like $40 a month, but they don't have to pay for it. Now, let me tell you something. This is so extremely important. I always use insurance toolkits. Used to be called FEX toolkit or whatever. Always. Okay. Even with me knowing the knowledge that I have and pretty much knowing this person takes lisinopril, that's for blood pressure. This person takes amlodipine, that's for blood pressure. This takes I know all that stuff, right? Even with me knowing that the company still changed their underwriting here and there. Okay. So I don't want to go for my knowledge. I want to go on something that's going to help me do what? Improve my placement. So when I go into insurance toolkits, I put the date of birth, I put the meds, okay? I put uh, their height and weight. But now here's the caveat. If you hadn't sold 20 clients, you still need to be calling, okay? In-home call to the upline if you're not sure. Because it will tell you if you're looking for a particular company. If you scroll down, it'll be grayed out. But you might say, well, dog, I really thought I could get her $2,000. But what you didn't know is that that company doesn't sell anything lower than $5,000. Okay. So it's okay. That's what the upline is for. Guys, we make money when you make money. Okay. So I have no problem earning the money. Call somebody. Okay. And here's the other thing. I'm going to say this, just as nice as I can, but stop picking this up and putting it down. This ain't what this is. Okay. Because you got in your feelings because somebody told you no. No, you got to be dedicated. Make this your career. Because what happens is the product that you should know from 2 years ago, you still don't know it. Okay. We don't have a problem helping you, but you still don't know it. Stop doing that. Okay. Stop picking it up, putting it down, pick it up, put it. It's like it's your practice, right? It's like a language. If you don't use that language, you're gonna lose it. Okay. So make sure you're doing that. Thoroughly going over the medication. When I'm in a home, when I'm with Ms. Jones, the first thing I say is, hey, Ms. Jones, any heart attack, stroke, cancer, or COPD? That's what I ask all the time. Any heart attack, stroke, cancer, or COPD? And then I might lead up with a follow-up of blood thinners. Okay. Those are the things that kind of knock people out. But guess what, guys? Nowadays, we have where we can get those people first day coverage on some of those things. Now, they can't have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, COPD all at one time. Okay. But when you put it into insurance toolkits and you call the coach and say, what how do we look here? Guess what? A lot of those people, they can have a heart attack in January, and that's maybe what they had, but they're on meds and stuff, and still get approved first day coverage. Isn't that wonderful? They don't have to be on a 2 year waiting period. And not only is it wonderful for the client, it's wonderful for you because you're getting paid more. Okay, that's called what we call the mix of business, meaning everybody ain't gonna be first to cover. Some people are gonna be modified, some people are gonna be graded, some people are gonna be GI, guaranteed issue, which means they're the worst of the worst, right? As far as health wise. Okay. But that's why it's so crucial and important. If you don't know what you're doing, stop acting like, oh, I got it, I got it, I got it. No, if you don't know what you're doing, pick up the phone and call somebody. Put it in the chat. Hey guys, I'm in a house or whatever. If you can't get a hold of me, call somebody, okay? So they can help you because your job as the upline, I'm teaching you like your job as the upline is to make sure your agent gets paid and they get paid the most money they can get. And you know what I call it? I call it belief checks. Okay. They get some belief checks coming in because there's so many people oh, they can't do insurance and blah, 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 blah. But guess what? It's hard to deny when you're getting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, whatever you want, checks a week. So now you can go to all the haters and debaters. Yeah. This it's working for me. I don't know, but it's working for me. I don't know, but I'm making 2 to 5 grand a week. It's working for me. Okay. Definitely go over those medications and ask Miss Mary, what's this for? Even if you think you know what it's for. Okay. Very crucial. Somebody might be taking gabapentin. For one person, it's just pain. For another person, if they got tingling in their fingers and their feet and stuff, and they're diabetic, it's probably for diabetic neuropathy. So now we got to figure out who's going to cover that. Okay. Whereas if it was just for pain, so that's why you ask that. When you're in insurance toolkits and you put the medication in, it'll ask you how long they've been taking it, and it'll ask you, is it for these causes right here? And you ask, hey, Ms. Jones, is that for this? Okay. That's helping you be a better underwriter. Ask the follow-up questions. How long they've been on the meds, and how long since the stroke or the heart attack. Okay, and do this as we close out. You got to be the professional. They don't know what you know. Okay, sometimes people they're gonna be sitting in the house. They're gonna be sitting in the house smoking a cigarette right in front of your face, and they're gonna say, "Oh, well, they don't got to know that." Yes, Miss Jones, they do need to know this. Okay, and you can make a joke. Miss Jones, I don't want your family to come beat me up when you pass away. Like I'm telling you right now, if you die the first 2 years and we put that on there, I can jeopardize my license or whatever. And then guess what? They're gonna do an autopsy. If they see any trace of nicotine in your body, guess what they're gonna do in that first 2 years? They're going to deny your death claim. They will deny it. Okay. So let's just go ahead and put it on. Don't you worry about nothing. I got you. It's just a few dollars difference. I got you. Don't you worry about that. I got to put down that you got tobacco. Okay. And the person might say, "Oh, I just quit last month." And most time they didn't, right? But they might say, "I just quit last month." Well, we still got to put it down because most of the questions on the application are 12 months or less. Okay, 12 months or less. Now they quit it over a year and a half ago. Then we back can put them on non-tobacco. Okay, but just anything that you see. Okay, uh, if they just got a policy, some agents have they're a bad agent. They're clean sheeting stuff. Clean sheeting means they're lying. Okay, they might have on the policy they bought 2 months ago. They don't smoke, and the client may say, "I told him I didn't smoke." Yes, I did. Well, guess what? That's a good replacement because if they died in 2 years of the contestability period, guess what? It's not going to pay out. Okay, so look for things like that. All right, it might be somebody. It might be somebody that's 400 pounds and they got on the application that they're 200. Right. So just do your best. All right. Anybody got any questions tonight? I hope that was helpful. Placement, persistency. Okay. Placement, don't just throw stuff up against the wall. Try to really do your best to do the underwriting and do everything you can to make sure they can get approved and make that first payment. That's the other part. And persistency, that's just your retention rate. Okay. Do everything you can. You got to pay attention to your emails. Okay. That's how the carrier's going to tell you, hey, Ms. Jones just missed a payment or it's about to lapse or whatever the case may be. You got to take ownership of that. Okay. I'm not going to hold nobody's hand and say, oh, did you check your email? Did you do this? That I'm not a secretary. Okay. Not being mean, but this is real business. And I want you all to teach your agents the same way. Okay. Um, make sure you stay on the emails. I'm talking about emails that come all the time that you should be uh, on. Okay. Anybody got any questions? Anybody? Kim says, "Do you order brochures?" Uh, yeah, you just go to the portal of your the website. I call it portal, but it's agent portal. But you just go to the website of that company, and that's a good question. You just start ordering them. Okay, so if you sell a Transamerican, and um, let's see, hold on, I'll get it for you. You're selling Transamerica, that goes into your leave behind folder. Okay, with also the leave behind uh, that's on the nafteam.net for the agents. Show them the carrier. Fill that in. Show them the premium. Okay. That's Transit's brochure right there. Okay. That's for their, uh, this is for the, this was actually for the final expense immediate solution. Okay. Talked about the cost of funerals on there. Okay. and it tells you how much face amount they can get, all that kind of stuff. So you're not gonna be able to remember every product, but really, we don't deal with 20 different carriers. Okay, so you take the time and you learn that. But yes, if it's a final expense product, you get on there, and there's ways that you can click it for them to mail it to you. They'll send you hundreds of them by the box, free stuff that you can leave behind. Okay, some of the companies, Kim, they do kind of want you to download it. They're being cheap, so you can download it and then print it off if you want to. But you know, just do your best to get you know what you need to leave behind for them. But I always do that. So I say stocked up. Go to Walmart, get you a little small plastic tote, and what I do is they have them where you can have the little inserts. So I put a tab of here's this company, and here's that company. All my stuff that I need is in those different ones, and usually it's just brochures because I'm not writing no paper app. I don't know when the last time I ever wrote a paper app. Okay, good question. Good question. All right, all of that. Nobody got no question besides Kim.
Very good. And you don't want
I heard you say you can deliver the policy instead of having the policy sent to them.
Yes, yeah, you can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, it what it does is and Karen, it's up to you because depends on how busy you are. Now, I would suggest if you're not running 40 leads a week, but say you're on 20 leads a week, then yeah, do it. And but have obviously common sense. If it's somebody like that's an outlier 3 hours away that's not on your normal route, then yeah, just click that the company send it to them. But if you only got 20 leads a week, it's just gonna help you get more activity because you don't want to leave the house without get those emergency contacts and more numbers. But when you come back to the house and you sit down, hey, you ain't got to sit up, spend a whole other hour, but I just want to drop it off with you, tell you thank you. You're part of my family now. And you know what? Since you're here, now I didn't get nothing on my husband. I need to get some on my husband. It's just activity. So
Okay.
yeah, it was totally up to you. And you had a question about leads again, Kim? You have a question about leads? She might not be with us. Kimberly? Oh, okay. Oh, I got you, Kim. I can see what's going on now. Your mic is broken. Okay. Uh, yeah, you don't need a purchase from me. You just call those companies up the companies up and I'll tell you which ones. Like lead concepts need a lead. Uh, when we're doing final experience, guys, direct mail is king. Direct mail is king. Like that's and here's the thing: no matter what the IMO, the agency is, they all have the same direct mail. Maybe a little bit different, not much. They're all going to say you qualify for a state regulated life insurance program that Social Security didn't pay out. Blah blah blah. Okay, and you just go there. Ms. Jones, you fill this out. Okay. Now what we're doing the check leads. Okay. So what happens is they send it out to them with that wording, and they'll go cash a $5 or $10 check at Walmart or wherever they cash it at. You don't have to put the money up, but the company will do it. Okay, so they'll pay that. Um, and you're the actor. You're the actress. All the lead is just a prop. That's all it is. It gives you extra power because they requested for you to be out there. Okay. And you just got to know how to do it. Uh, I get in the car with anybody to ride with you, sure, but you got to be consistent. Okay. You got to be consistent. Don't, I just said that earlier. Don't order leads for this week and then don't order them again to 2 months. You just keep your money. Don't even do it. Okay. But get some consistency. So uh maybe I would prefer you to save up the money for the whole month. Okay. It's only gonna cost you, it ain't gonna cost you but $2,500, guys. You might say, well, that's a lot of money. No, it's not. You're in business now. That's 3 applications. Okay. But if you can't put $2,500 at one time, maybe order 40, like 1,200. And boom, 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 I'm selling these 2 weeks. So when the second week come around, I can order them again. Okay. Because it's gonna take them 2 to 3 weeks to get back to you. So you want to make for sure that the leads are overlapping. You don't want to go a week without them. Okay. But with that being said, if you just can't, I mean, I don't, you know, you should be able to. In other words, maybe you can't come up with $2,000 at one time, but you can pay the 600 this week, and boom, 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 made a few sales, and 7 days later you can pay another 600. Okay, and then 7 days or 10 days later you can pay another 600. Like so, you keep your pipeline full. Okay, and I promise you, when you do that and doing referrals and different things, oh my gosh, you get ready to make some money. Okay, you get ready to make some money, guys. We're in a nice business, but you can go out and tell people, recruit people, let them know, hey, if you just apply yourself. See, see, most people when they make this kind of money, and let me say this: most people that come on this cliff, am I gonna make any money with you? I say it's not a matter of you gonna make any money. It's a matter of can you make the money and be disciplined. Because most people ain't used to making $1,000 an hour. Now they want to run off to Walmart in the middle of the day. Now they want to go to the movies in the middle of the day. Okay. Oh no, no, no. That wouldn't be me. I'd be getting it. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Because it's just that's our Achilles heel, right? The wonderful thing about our business is that you got freedom. The bad thing about our business is that you got freedom. Okay. So you just have to discipline yourself, discipline your time, make you out of schedule. The same way you got a schedule for a job, you need to make you out of schedule for yourself. So you're not just, oh, I just do anything, or I just answer a call from anybody, and I just get distracted. All right, make your schedule. From this time to this time, I'm doing this. From this time to this time, I'm training agents. From this time to this time, I'm doing my admin stuff. Okay, all that good stuff. Um, Kim says, "What do you do if they want to give you a social security number?" Oh, well, Mr. Jones, now they got to have that so they know how to pay out. Okay, that's the only way we know who you are. And also, I've been licensed by the state to do this. The Department of Insurance has checked my background thoroughly. I would not be able to even talk to you about insurance if that wasn't the case. Okay. So we got to have that so we know who you are and we can pay out the claim to your beneficiary. Just like if you go buy a car, they need your social. Okay. And you keep your head down and just keep talking. Okay. Don't say, is it all right if I get your social? Is it okay? No, you coming from a wimp standpoint. You just tell like when you go to the doctor's office, he doesn't say, I just want to know if I can no, he just tells you, here's your social on the chart, here's this, right? You're the same way. The only difference between you and the doctor is you make more money than the doctor. Come on, somebody. That just hyped me up. I don't care what y'all talking about tonight. That just hyped me up. I'm excited. Come on, somebody. That's the truth. I can't tell you how many pre-med students and attorneys I've seen come do this. Seriously, for real, real. So that need to make your posture a little bit taller. Don't let people try to steal your joy and your dream of doing this. Okay. All right, guys. Good questions. Anybody else before we go? Anybody? I'm trying to go eat something. Anybody got any questions? All right, cool. We're gonna try to uh get together this year, sometime this year, get together. But the biggest thing is, keep your mind on like, let me do some things now. Because here's the truth about it. If you're not gonna start now in your business, the clock striking 12:01, January 1st, 2026, it ain't gonna make no difference. All that changes is the calendar. Okay, but you got to change. You got to read books. You got to be on a higher vibration. You got to get yourself developed. You got to become a business owner. You got to transform you as a person and transform your mind to be different. Okay. But I hope the training not helped you on the persistency and the placement. So you write good quality business and you're keeping your money. All right. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we're so proud to be in business with you. Let's take NAF up a whole nother notch. Get the people contracted, get them going. Let them know we're going to teach them the business. There's too many people that are just bringing people into business and not taking the time with them. And that's another side note. If you're going to bring on somebody, then be willing to take up the time with them. Okay, you want them to work with you. All right, you want them to work with your group, with NAF, whatever. Take the time and lead them the right way and understand what's going on. They trusted you. Okay, we're not going to do the work for them, but we want to train them adequately, let them understand what this business entails, not just selling the policy. Anybody can sell a policy, okay? But let them know the actual business, the terms, what it means to them, and God will bless you. All right? Thank you for your attention tonight. I love you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.